come to the right place. Hopefully we actually know what we're talking about. So, my point with this is simply, extremes are dangerous. If you have capitalism in its extreme, you're going to work yourself to death. If you're socialist in your extreme, you're probably going to die of starvation. But, I don't really know that much about the subject, but in this film today, I will be playing Taylor Swift, Ben Shapiro, and hopefully it'll be fairly entertaining.
Hi, I'm the cameraman for the majority of this film, but my name is Dylan Williams. You can call me Steven Crowder, however, because that's the main character I will be playing when you see me not holding that camera and actually talking about them, about these two economic philosophies / systems. Now, for the most part, we poke fun at both of these economic ideologies, but the main course, what I want to drive home to you, is that neither of these economic systems should dominate any economy, because they both lead to detrimental effects. Now, as Megan, my cooperative in this project, has stated before, I might not know all the information, but as a conglomerate, our entire team can hopefully portray the ideas to you properly. So with that, I'm going to turn the time over to Jordan Peterson, actor Michelle.
Rolling?
Yep.
Okay, great. And that's why waffles are fluffier than pancakes.
Yeah!
And now we're going into human cloning.
Oh, hey, Mitchell. So good to see you, my friend.
Good to see you too, man.
We actually have to do a little interview with you.
Uh-huh.
Excellent. So come with me for the movie. Hi, I'm Mitchell, and I'll be playing Jordan Peterson. I'll be analyzing both of these economic systems and giving you a rundown of the cons of both of these systems, and I'll be emphasizing socialism's cons in the form of historical dictators that have promoted communism and socialism as their main ideals. And I'll be running with the cons of capitalism as an illusion that only entraps the labor force and the average worker like you and I into a corporation or a company that could care less about them. Now, I hope that you can understand that when I address these issues, I address them with as much certainty and credibility as I can. And with that said, I'm actually running slightly late to one of my meetings. Oh look, there's one of my coworkers. How's it going?
Thank you. Hey, how's it going? My name is Jerome Palmer. And this film, I'll be playing both Karl Marx and Adam Smith. And simply, they're going to be talking about different political beliefs on socialism and capitalism. My personal take on both socialism and capitalism is, well, overall capitalism is the best social and economic construct, providing the best prosperity for a nation and country, as well as its people. Socialism, unfortunately, is not that. All right, Chris, you ready?
Yeah, let's go.
All right.
My name's Chris Wexton,
Dude,
and I'm going to be
why don't you go?
playing Kanye West today. I'm going to be talking about the pros of capitalism and also the pros of socialism as well. My claim is that I believe that capitalism promotes more economic growth and helps increase the potential of individuals in our society.
You guys got room for one more?
Always.
Oh, can I have some of that, man?
No, that's socialism.
We hope you guys enjoy.
Folks, we got a doozy for you today. Some chump online challenged me to go over the actual logistics of capitalism and to go over the actual quote-unquote downsides of socialism.
It's an illusion.
Which one?
Good point. Probably both of them, honestly.
Well, here's the thing, not gay Jared. Most of what you think you know is not what you know.
I know you're a self-righteous maniac.
That's true. It doesn't change the fact that at the end of the day, the only thing that I know is that I know nothing. Socrates. I know. It's not a poetic blurb of text set on some sort of photogenic scene of an ocean backdrop on your social media as you're scrolling through, reading about all this, motivational text read to you in some sort of female robotic voice. It's probably the most annoying voice I've ever heard next to Hillary Clinton, while saying something vague and kind of motivational that would apply to anyone who has half a primate brain to consider why they should put any effort at all into their life. But hear me out. Maybe these ancient dead guys actually have a point, which is part of the reason why I've resurrected them through cloning, so that way they can actually speak on their behalf. The two fathers themselves, Karl Marx and Adam Smith.
Okay. What to do here? See, where I live in France, there's people that are rich and people that are poor, those that have and have not. How is this fair? I don't know. It seems to me that everyone who is rich is greater in some way than he who is not. Why don't we have where everyone is on the same playing field? Or what the rich man, what he makes, can be given to those that are less fortunate. Why don't we have the government do this? This would make a lot more sense. Isn't the whole point of government to make sure that the people are well off, they're able to survive, thrive, and prosper? I don't understand why this is a thing. Wait, hold on. I'm supposed to be Karl Marx here. Hold on. Okay. I want to write my things down since I read Aristotle, I read Socrates, I read Plato. Everything they say has something to do with these philosophy of bringing people up and making them better. Adam Smith, what the hell are you doing here?
I personally can't stand that man's moral stance on government, but he has one good beard.
Okay, hold on. That is correct, Karl Marx. It is I, Adam Smith. I was professor at Oxford University for a while, and I wrote the book, The Wealth of Nations, which talks about something called the invisible hand, which is the driving force behind capitalism. Is what allows, well, simply put, allows for any man to start a business, build up whatever he wants, and if the people like what he wants, then they will come to him, and the market will push from there, essentially, and will allow new innovations and new inventions, and allow those that are willing to take the opportunity to rise up. It will give them the ability and power to be. Unfortunately, with socialism, that's not the case.
Now, I think both these men are a little doozy from their time being dead and cloned back into reality, of course. But honestly, I think the best way that we can actually reenact what would actually happen if we tried to reinstate socialism is to be if we cloned the people who put a bad word on communism to begin with, like Mao Zedong or Joseph Stalin or Kim Jong-un. Oh wait, he's already alive.
Что это здесь делает? Lo siento. Much better.
No.
Dennis Rodman!
Think about American basketball.
Yes. Yes.
I just think it's funny how Dennis Rodman is the spokesperson for the United States against Kim Jong-un when it comes down to nuclear warfare and our lives and World War III and everything important. But on another note, we made a dramatic reenactment of Mao Zedong, pretty much reading from the Communist Manifesto and it telling him to create one of the biggest genocides of human history ever and raise his Red Army of teenagers to pretty much take control of China. If you want to see that.
What's out, Mao? What shit? Wow.
No, I'm not quite sure how much that was completely accurate. Point is, we also got to talk about the fact that Lenin was exiled to Switzerland from Russia by the royal family because of his revolution with the Bolsheviks that he was leading. I just find it interesting. Maybe he was having a really good time in Switzerland before the Germans ended up reaching out to him to smuggle him back into Russia.
You know, Switzerland's kind of nice. Don't have any worries. Don't have to think about taking out a government or anything.
On behalf of the German people, we'd like to offer you a safe passage back to Russia.
You couldn't have gently touched me.
Did the Bolsheviks ever gently rebel against the Tsar?
Touche.
We'd like to enclose you in a boxcar and smuggle you across Switzerland and Germany back to Russia in hopes that we can start some more revolts and just cause some commotion for the government.
I don't know, I kind of like it here in Switzerland. It's pretty nice. But I do like the sound of Overlord Lenin, though.
And of course, once Lenin succeeded with executing the royal family and charging Russia into the USSR, which has socialist in the name, things didn't start off that well. And even looking at Russia now, it doesn't look like they fully recovered from Lenin and Stalin. And Lenin tried to warn the public about Stalin, but by then it was too late. Lenin passed away. But to properly show what would have happened if Lenin ratted out Stalin and Stalin confronted Lenin, here's this very accurate and not dramatic at all reenactment.
There you go. We did it. Step 1, done. Step 2, done. Stalin, we did it.
Of course, comrade.
I'm not gonna kill you.
What? Never in a million democratic years would I lay a finger on you, comrade. I'm gonna kill you.
Alright, I need some vodka.
Okay, good luck, comrade. Good thing you didn't turn the page. Idiot! My name is Joseph Stalin. You've killed the Tsar and done nothing with this country. Prepare to die.
I always knew you would come for me. That's why I brought my sword.
Ah! Stalin, that actually hurt!
Hit me! Oh man, this is gonna be nasty.
Everything said, I I got to interview Kanye West to get all the positives, because I know I've been ragging on both, mainly just socialism, honestly. I've been ragging on socialism a lot, so I actually interviewed Kanye, and I thought he was going to be more of a capitalist, and he had a few good points on socialism that I had to record and show you guys, because that's what I believe in, as Steven Crowder.
You all waiting for Kanye too?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Me too. Kanye's about to come through these doors. We're really excited right now. He's coming through these doors. Any minute now, this elevator is gonna open. He's gonna come through. Oh, he's over here. Kanye.
Tell us more, come on. Oh, no. Keep this.
How do you know about me?
Good. Where's he going?
Where'd he go?
Hey Kanye.
How you doing, man?
Good. How are you?
Good.
Yeah, that's awesome to hear. Now that we have some time alone, I just want to ask you. What?
Kanye?
I just.
Kanye freaking sucks. Who listens to Kanye?
Back up.
I just want to ask you, what would you attribute your fame to, of anything,
Yeah.
and your success?
I think that's a really good question. I think, honestly, just growing up in Chicago and being out there just with a single mother, I was a beneficiary of socialism. I mean, we had free healthcare.
No, Kanye! Dude, I'm your number one fan! Dude, yes!
Sorry about that. My mom was on food stamps. She was working 3 or 4 jobs. I benefited from that, and that allowed me to be successful. But I think I really am where I am today because of just capitalism. Capitalism has just allowed me to just be able to thrive and be in the position
You like what you see over here?
that
Nobody even listens to your music.
that I'm in today. It's allowed me to just innovate and be in a position where I can grow and where I can just have some freedom, which my mom didn't have. So I think a lot of it came from capitalism and just a free market.
And you say all this about capitalism. Is there any benefits to socialism that you would attribute to?
Yeah, like I said earlier, I think socialism has some great benefits. Like I said, we had free healthcare. My mom couldn't afford it, even though she had 3 jobs. I was also on food stamps, so that government assistance really helped me out a lot. But what it did was it became a detriment to me. I could not really grow and progress like capitalism allowed me to. And that's why I'm in the position I am today, because of capitalism.
And if you remember correctly, you interrupted Taylor Swift during her awards ceremony. We actually brought her back here today so you guys could just make amends. Taylor, you got anything to say, Kanye?
Everything he's saying he's got a lot of things to say, and I really agree with everything he's saying.
Excellent.
I know all too well.
Well, I don't want to interrupt your shopping, so I'll go ahead and say goodbye for now. Thank you for your time, Kanye.
Hey, have a good one, man.
I just talked to Kanye, and it was the best one of my
A
life.
few good points there that I actually kind of agree with, Sometimes the people need a little bit of welfare and a little bit of help here and there. But, overall, I think capitalism is still got the edge. I'm not trying to advocate that you should go towards either one of these. Because, as my friend Jordan Peterson will soon elaborate on, both of these economic systems will just lead to decimation.
Okay, so in this video, I would like to mention 6 disadvantages of capitalism and why capitalism is so bad. So the first one is inequality. So the common capitalism mantra is that anyone can be rich if they work hard enough, and that is a fallacy because there is only so much room at the top. So in order to make money, first you have to take it from someone else, and any way you look at it, there is never going to be equality under capitalism. The second one is waste. So in a society where resources are not evenly distributed, there's always going to be wealthy who have an excess of resources. So while occasionally these resources are given to the poor, often this excess is wasted. So millions and millions of dollars worth of food is wasted by those who have more than they need. The third one is danger. Often companies will cut corners in health and safety restrictions because it costs them less to pay of them families, of those who die in industrial accidents. The fourth one is undemocratic. So while every individual has a single vote in a democracy, in a capitalism system, they have very little to say because the actions that the government takes are influenced by banks and by the wealthiest ones, like for example big businesses, and because they fund their election campaigns, their votes do not count. The fifth one is pollution. So it shouldn't be hard to convince people not to kill themselves. However, this is what companies are doing as they refuse to put an environmental measures because it will reduce their profit margins. And the last disadvantage of capitalism is propaganda. So you cannot escape capitalism. So it's everywhere. On every billboard, on every TV program, you have someone telling you to buy something. So now I would like to say the disadvantages of socialism. Socialism, it's the same idea as communism. Socialism is the path to lead every country to communism, to the extreme. You can see many examples of countries that had started with socialism and now are communist. Cuba, Venezuela, North Korea, Peru, and many other countries in South America that are suffering with socialism and communism. That is the same thing. Socialism, they violate personal freedom. You will not have the ability to choose. Socialism, they violate human nature. They violate private property. So if you have a business under a socialist government, what will happen to your business? The government will take it and they will not pay you anything for it. Socialism opposes to traditional marriage. Socialism opposes to parental rights in education. They want to teach your children what they want them to know. They will not teach them truth and will teach them to hate. Socialism will promote radical equality. Socialism will promote atheism, and socialism will mock religion. Do not believe socialism. Socialism, it's a fraud.
Thanks, Peterson. In case you couldn't tell, that was pre-recorded. He apparently didn't have the time to interview me live, which is fine. A lot of people don't have time to talk to Crowder, which is okay. I get that. No one wants to talk to the French Canadian. However, I hope, for the most part, I didn't have to do too much talking as to why there's a lot of cons with socialism and why I prefer the freedom that capitalism innately inhibits in you. But to sum it up, I think capitalism is very United States. That is to say, it absolutely has its flaws. I think the United States is the best nation, but by far not the most perfect nation ever. And socialism, democratic socialism, I want to touch up on that. Because you have all these young Turks saying that they want to be democratic socialists. You have Bernie Sanders advocating that he's a democratic socialist. Socialism, in the very name, means that it's given to all the people, every single one of them peoples, and they control all the means of production, which in a way kind of sounds democratic, which most people would say sounds American, when in fact, America is not a democracy. It's a federalist republic. We actually are made up of representatives, and a lot of people don't seem to understand that we are not a democracy, a 100% democracy. Your vote still matters if you vote for the right person, of course. If you're not, you can go ahead and not vote. But other than that, I think it's very contrary. Democracy is very much the opposite of what socialism is and what socialism leads to, which is, in case you weren't paying attention, communism. So, Democracy, communism don't really go together. It's like saying I'm a democratic communist. Doesn't quite go together because socialism is that bridge to communism. So if you're going to call yourself a socialist, at the very least, stop calling yourself a democratic socialist. Now, if you don't excuse me for a moment, I actually have to go with a meeting with that Karl Marx clone and Ben Shapiro.
Hello, I'm Ben Shapiro, and welcome back to the Ben Shapiro Show. Today we will be playing Pandemic. The purpose of the game is to heal all the diseases. Now, today we will be playing with the clone of Karl Marx and Steven Crowder. We're going to have a debate on capitalism versus socialism, and Crowder, you will be starting with this.
Yes, of course. Well, I believe capitalism is better for numerous reasons. I don't believe in a government or any sort of community that can kind of like take possession of the means of production. So that's why, in my humble opinion, I think that if the private owner of a company or an industry actually has the power to control the means of production, then it's actually more meaningful than giving it to a populace or a government. Once I'm done rearranging these, it'll be your turn, Karl Marx.
So
These are my cities. In fact, Algiers and Miami. Marx, it's your turn.
you see, I understand your points about the means of production being well controlled by the individual, but I still think and believe that means of production, distribution of both, production and products should be done by the state and controlled by the state, simply because they can be run more efficiently.
Should be good about Stalin. I made a short clip about it if you want to see it that bad.
I mean, I'm down to watch it.
That's actually infecting the cities.
That's awkward.
With your socialist propaganda is what you're doing right there. Yeah, there you go.
Let me fix that for you.
Yeah, you go ahead and put that propaganda down.
Where's Paris? I can't find it. There.
Paris. Yeah, there you go.
Paris and yes, there we go. Socialist propaganda wins again.
Gotcha. So your whole point to all this, Karl Marx, is pretty much you want the government to own everything. There's no private property, no private industry, no, actual private distribution of the resources. I got that right?
That is correct. Yes.
Yeah, I've read your propaganda. That doesn't make sense to me. You're telling me that literally everything just belongs to the state, or in this case the government, or in this case to you, because let's just pretend that you're in power. Is really what you're asking for, right? Is that what you're asking for?
Not entirely, no.
Okay, cool. Because I was about to say that sounds pretty capitalist of you to say that you want the sole proprietorship of this entire thing.
That would be interesting. Well, under Carter, I do get that the whole purpose of capitalism is to have private industry, being able to have that type of an economy there. However, when has someone owning private property actually helped individuals? What it helps it in short term, however, in long term, it does not enable a prosperous nation and only allows for monopolies to exist and for the 1% to control almost all of the wealth, while the 99% are left with scraps and nothing. That doesn't make sense. That shouldn't be how it works. If a government controlled all of that, we'd be able to have an equal opportunity and equal playing field for everybody. Oh, by the way, would you mind meeting me in London? If you give me your London, we'd be able to cure the flu disease. By the way.
If you really think about it, you both have some valid points. And what would be really great? If you could, work together so you could actually get something done. But I do have to agree with him. If we get you closer to London, we'll get closer to curing the disease and winning the game.
All right. Draw your 2 cards then.
Pandemic. Find my berries on my balls. I need to find.
Sounds good to me. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And that's capitalism for you right there, huh? Of course.
This is what your capitalist has done to us.
No, this is actually communism right here because you're forcing me to give you that which you didn't even cure yet. I don't even know why you put that in yet.
It's right there.
Go!
Okay, listen, Stephen Carter. I get, like, you like the idea of people being able to own their own business, but here's the problem with capitalism. It may start out good in the beginning, but over time it creates monopolies, it creates work shortages, it creates over labor, underpay, and resentment towards the workers and the 1% class, creating a divide which would be solved if we were able to have a united utopia controlled by the government and have the wealth distributed among the people. Simple as that.
You're stumbling over your own words, Marx. And honestly, I really don't see why, even after you've seen my film, after you've seen history, you're a clone of the actual Karl Marx. What rebuttal do you have that I'm actually going to listen to? Nothing, honestly. Quite literally nothing. So you have no point in this. And the way I see it is we can win if you give me your one red, and if I just have one more, so that way we can actually fix this because of you.
You both freaking suck!
How?
Triangle Shirtwaist Factory. 123 people had to jump to their death because some guy decided, hey, let's lock this door, keep it locked, not let people go home so they can get their wages and you can overwork them and murder them.
Suck it.
80 million people in less than 10 years. Starvation. That's what got you guys that. You guys got starvation and death. Sure, you both got people killed. Congrats. You both are terrible.
Good job. I mean, it is my turn.
Give him the card, Carl.
No.
When you have the extreme of anything, it becomes dangerous. We, instead of looking at ourselves and saying that I am right, need to recognize that when we look at other people, some people can be right. We can't just say, I am the best. That is nothing but pride in your face. You must realize that you need to look to other people's opinions, work together as a team. The communist dog must have a leash, and that is socialism. Whenever it ever gets to the point of having people have to die at work or having 80 million people starve to death, that is not a conclusion you can come to. Don't you see? When we work together, that's when we can really accomplish greatness. Really get some good things in here. Come on, work together.
I close my eyes, if only for a moment, then the moment's gone. All my dreams pass before my eyes with curiosity. Dust in the wind.
Are you guys
All
gay?
we are is dust in the wind.
Dad? What is it, son? Dad, I just woke up from a terrible dream where I wrote that book I was telling you about. People actually read it and they actually did what I said. Oh, son, what silly things to think about. Go back to bed and don't ever write that book. Just keep them in your thoughts. Yeah, you're probably right.